Fam, what's going on? Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys joining me Wednesday night. We got Coach Sean joining me at 7 p.m. Central Time right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I hope you had a good morning segment with Coach Ty Hayes from Around the Table Sports. And as the title reads, what will Coach Saban miss most about coaching? And that's kind of what I wanted to take the direction with the show tonight. I appreciate you guys calling and joining me on the show inside the comment box. And I appreciate you guys more than you know. All right. So when Coach Saban was at the Regions Pro-Am today, and Coach DeBoer was there as well, the headline was, or one of the main topics was, what will Coach Saban miss most after, coaching in his retirement? And it really stood out to me because, clearly the relationships, and that's what he said, the relationships and not having that one-on-one connection with the players. And he was so relatable to his players, and his players loved to play for Coach Saban. And I think that really was a big reason why it was so easy for him to recruit, so easy for him to be able to get players to buy into his program, is because who Coach Saban was. Like, he's a guy's guy, right? He's out there always joking with the players, and the players really admired that about him. And I think the coaches did too, that worked for Coach Saban, but more so as a player. So I can totally understand, that being a big reason why Coach Saban will miss that aspect of coaching. And I think, depending on what he does going forward, I think he's going to continue to be a great ambassador for Alabama, clearly. But like he said today in his interview, that he played golf with Tua Tagovailoa and Mark Ingram recently, like on Monday. So I was thinking about this. I was like, wow, now you have Coach Saban, who, while he's retired from Alabama, and I get it, he works for ESPN, but think about it. He could be talking to NFL players. He could be a liaison, and I don't even know if this is happening. I'm just thinking this off the top of my head. He could be a liaison for NFL players to give back to the university in terms of like, yay, Alabama. Doesn't seem like Alabama's as broke as Alabama was, at least that we thought they were back in January, right? I mean, remember the times in January we felt like, yay, Alabama was like, pulling strings for people to contribute to this thing. And now it seems like you're able to go inside the transfer portal and offer up some big money. And I know you're still waiting on the full announcement for Deshawn Jones, the transfer from Wake Forest. I don't know what's going on with that, but from what I understand, he is committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. What's up, Jerry Martin? I see you inside the comment box. Yelling at everyone, even if it's fourth quarter, we're up by 30. You know what? That I'm going to miss that, because it seems like right now, Coach DeBoer, he has such a calm demeanor about him. And I saw him, like, I'm curious to see like how good of a golfer he was. I love golf. I was talking about playing golf. Coach Saban's a great golfer. I think he's like a 5 handicap or something like that. Like, he can absolutely play. And he plays from the whites right now. But I know he can smash. And I was actually, I was with T, and we were having dinner at Chuck's early this spring. And Cedric said that there's nobody that he's played golf with. And Cedric's like he loves golf, right? He's a golf connoisseur. And he said that nobody can read the greens better than Coach Saban, right? But I saw Coach DeBoer hit some good shots out there. So, looks like he can swing it. The only thing they were giving him crap about was the fact that he was wearing cargo shorts. So, get him hooked up with Chris Mobley. I know they already have him with the tops, but if they can, take care of the cargos, I guess. But whatever the case, it's all good. Getting back to the relationships, that is something that certainly built this foundation here at the University of Alabama, was that trust that the players had in Coach Saban. I think that one of the things when watching Coach Saban was the way that he worked with the players and mentoring the players. And mentorship was so big to Coach Saban, and still is, right? You think about some of the players who did get in trouble here at Alabama. He never just like kicked them off the team. He always mentored them. He always got them going on the right path and gave them second chances. And I mean, you look at some of the players in the past that, you could have certainly got rid of. Like, for example, most recently, some players from a couple seasons ago, he could have straight up just fired them. Right? He could have just let them go. But what he did was he worked with those players. And I always admired him about that, was the mentorship. And, sometimes you do have to kind of move on from people, but he really did a great job mentoring. And I know, like, they always used to call Alabama kind of like a rehab facility for coaches who weren't, playing weren't coaching at the highest level. For example, I remember I followed Coach Loxley over here. We were both at New Mexico, and then he came over here, and I think he won one game in the span of like 3 or 4 seasons at New Mexico before he was fired. and he came over here, was an analyst, worked his way up as the wide receivers coach, and then eventually become the offensive coordinator before leaving on to Maryland, where he is. So, it's and you can, there's countless coaches that have been kind of in that rehab program, whatever you want to call it. What's up, Patriot Life? I see you. Bama Productions, I see you. Stephen Ingle, what's going on? We got Coach Sean coming up at the top of the hour at 7. I'm going to wrap with Coach Sean about a couple of items today. This morning, you had Ty Hayes from Around the Table Sports. I was at 8:30 this morning. I took Caden and Lacey. I have my kids full time. I took them to get braces. So today was the consultation, and then we'll move forward with braces. As soon as they said they could have put braces on them today. So I talked to each of the kids, and we're going to go forward with that with the braces. So good to see you in here, Stephen, in Sweet Home Alabama. I appreciate you being in here. Like I said, Coach Sean in here at the top of the hour. So yeah, let me ask you, Undefeated, and everybody inside the comment box, what are you going to miss most about Coach Saban? Right? Someone said him yelling, kind of getting the team fired up. I think the competitive nature of Coach Saban is something that clearly helped him succeed, right? Like, he was the most fiery, most competitive guy that we've had in the college football ranks. And I get it. All the coaches are competitive, but like the competitive balance that he had and the competitive nature that he had, I remember him talking about, he would pull up to the light and it would be a red light and there'd be another car next to him. And he kind of, he wanted to get off the line first. He drives fast, right? So all that about Coach Saban, I'm going to miss his opening messages. And I think while Coach Saban, during his career had some incredible press conferences where he'd really kind of lay out, the message to the team, but overall, the philosophy of it, I'm going to miss that because Saban just had it. He was a great teacher, right? Great teacher of life. And certainly going to miss that about Coach Saban. What are you going to miss? Sound off inside the comment box. What are you guys going to miss about Coach Saban? Patriot Life says, I will miss his passion and perfection and not complacent. Yeah, that was the thing. Is Coach Saban is always trying to get better, right? Reading books, talking with people, bringing people in who could add value to his team. Think about who Coach Saban brought in over the course of the last 5 years. Just the people that he brought in to talk to the team. Right, that's a big Rolodex that Coach Saban has. So when bringing in, whether it was an Olympian or, an NBA great, Kobe Bryant was even here, right? Yeah, got the zeros, got the Gatorade zeros for the afternoon. Other items that were hit on today during the Regions Pro-Am, and a lot of it was, Coach Saban and Coach Kalen DeBoer. But Coach Kalen DeBoer had, some big updates. One of them was about the spring transfer portal. Talked about James Brockemeyer, talked about Parker Brailsford, talked a little bit about Jalen Milroe, and talked about Jalen Hell. So let's start on Jalen Hell and his recovery. So he's the wide receiver who was injured during the springtime. Now I don't think there was ever info leaked out on terms of what exactly the injury was. There's privacy laws around that, but he's making progress, and we don't know if he's going to be out the entire season. But one of the things that I talk about when I talk about injuries at the University of Alabama is they're able to recover. The players are able to recover at such a higher rate, number one, because they're world-class athletes. But number two, they have world-class facilities. And number three, they have Jeff Allen, who I think is the best in the business. Retaining him, and he was always going to be retained no matter Coach Saban left or stayed, just because, he's going to finish out his career here. But you have David Ballou. I think those two guys, strength, right? And then your overall rehab guy, your head athletic trainer guy, he's here. And I think he's going to help Jalen Hell get to where he needs to be sooner than later. But it sounds like it's going to be a lengthy time before Jalen Hell, does get back onto the football field for Alabama, which is fine. We've seen players sometimes there's injuries. It's part of the game. It takes a long time, but get healed up right, get your mind right, come back on. And Jalen Hill is going to be a absolutely talented wide receiver when he's back being healthy. Talked about Jalen Milroe, his quarterback, returning for 2024. And he talked about the fact that he's progressing in every single concept that they have with the playbook. And one of the things that he wants to see from Jalen Milroe, most importantly, is him develop as a quarterback with the entire playbook, because this is a new playbook, and being able to know the playbook for every single standpoint, right? Wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, tackles, guards, centers. So being able to understand the entire playbook, and hopefully he's up to speed on that by the time the season starts. But he's the guy. And there's been so many videos and there's been so many interviews with with Jalen Milroe and Coach Kalen DeBoer together. And he's going to have a fantastic season. When I asked Ty to go through his top 10 quarterbacks for the college football season coming into the season, we've talked about Carson Beck, we've talked about Dylan Gabriel, Quinn Ewers. Jalen Milroe fits right up there. In fact, he was number 4 on ESPN's college football rankings, right? Noah Fafita, Jackson Dart, Jalen Daniels, Shador Sanders, Cameron Rising, and Cam Ward are the top quarterbacks. I think when you talk top quarterbacks coming back, I mean, look, I've always been a fan of Dylan Gabriel, and I get it. He probably chased the bag going out to Oregon, but I like Jalen Milroe coming back as one of the top overall quarterbacks in college football. I think Carson Beck is certainly a quality quarterback, and I can't wait to see those two match up with each other when Alabama and Georgia play. We've talked about that with a YouTube short. Quinn Ewers is a really polished quarterback, and of course he's going to be pushed by the other quarterbacks at Texas, but he had a really good season last year, and he had some monster weapons to work with. Noah Fafita, I feel, is a little bit underrated. Jackson Dart, that's an interesting one. I don't know if I would have put him on my top 10 quarterbacks from Ole Miss, but I mean, watching what he did last season, I'll tell you this: Jackson Dart flourishes because of Lane Kiffin and his ability to just be an athlete. Lane Kiffin, I think, could work with any of these quarterbacks and do such a great job making sure that these quarterbacks flourish, find open targets, get creative with these guys. Because, look, Jackson Dart, he was a problem for Alabama. I mean, Ole Miss was leading Alabama at the halftime stretch last year, right? If you remember. So, in terms of the quarterbacks, and I talked about this before, is like, will Shador Sanders be a top 25 pick in the NFL draft? Probably in next year's draft. I think Deion Sanders said he would be like one of the top, picks in the NFL draft. I don't know. I would imagine he's off the board, but in talking, top 10 quarterbacks, I think he's certainly going to be one of the guys that shines. And I think Colorado, it's always going to kind of be in the limelight because Deion Sanders is that guy. He is polarizing. So curious to see how they do. I also wanted to talk about he hit on James Brockemeyer, and this is Coach Kalen DeBoer earlier today talking about a little bit about James Brockemeyer and saying that he wishes him well, and players into the transfer portal for various reasons, and once they hit the transfer portal, they have that option and they can go elsewhere and they can seek greener pastures, and they wish him the best. With Parker Brailsford, he said 100% he's going to be part of the team. And that's going to be your center more than likely for this 2024 campaign, right? I like it. While we haven't seen Parker Brailsford snap a football, I feel that because of Parker Brailsford and the success that he had last year. Hey, Steven, what's up? You can ask Patriot Life. I think if you click on, if you go to Super Chat, there's a little gift icon and you can gift in that way. So we appreciate it. But I feel that with Parker Brailsford and the experience that he had last year, I mean, they won the Joe Moore Award, right? So with him coming over, along with the other, returning starters that Alabama has, Tyler Booker, Jaden Roberts, this team has their offensive line 100%. So feel good about Parker Brailsford coming back. And, I think it had to be a transfer credit or something like that. I'm not sure what exactly was the deal with Parker Brailsford. All right. Talked about the spring transfer portal. And that has been really big this year, right? He said he wanted to improve the roster, which they did, and they had to be really choosy about the players that they brought in from the transfer portal because of numbers, which is obvious, right? They can only have so many players on the roster. I know you're wondering when this whole Deshawn Jones news is coming. I think it is coming in time. I just don't know exactly why. The news hasn't exploded over the internet just yet. But if you look to the transfer portal and you see that what Alabama has done and who Alabama has brought in, I still feel it's an absolute win. I still feel that. What's up, Kareem? Appreciate you being here, man. I still feel that Alabama won in the transfer portal because of two names, Graham Nicholson and Caden Proctor. Probably three, Keon Sabb as well, right? Like during the spring transfer portal, getting those guys in, it was amazing to think that they got Keon Sabb in who's actually able to go through spring practice. How about that? Now, Graham Nicholson and Caden Proctor, the next time we see those guys will be during the actual season. Hey, J.A. Kelly, what's up, man? You're going to get that's going to be the next guy to commit to Alabama, I would imagine. Let me get his name again. Let me see. Talking about the Michigan State. That is going to be Gino Vandemark. He's out of Michigan State. Gino Vandemark has experience. He comes in. He's a interior offensive lineman. And he will be, he will be the next guy that I think will commit. And then probably Deshawn Jones, and that should be a wrap for this coming season, right? So I think if I had to rank the transfers coming in, I would probably say number one, Graham Nicholson. Number two, Caden Proctor. Number three, Keon Sabb. Number four, in terms of the spring transfers that came in, or these transfers that came over, probably Jeremy Bernard, right? Since Saban left, guys who have joined, right? So I think, in turn, these five guys will play: Graham, Caden, Keon, Jeremy Bernard. I don't know what's going to go down with King Matthew. He's the Penn State guy. And I haven't really heard too much after, right? Parker Brailsford, Parker Brailsford is certainly a big one too. So Parker Brailsford's up there. Actually, I would probably say he's even more impactful than Jeremy Bernard, maybe. So maybe I put Parker at 4 and then Jeremy at 5. I don't know. Chris, what's up, man? Please tell me we're going to do something special this year when there's 4 SEC teams with higher odds of winning ahead of us. Shaking my damn head. You know what? It's fine to have Alabama as the underdog. They were a really big underdog last year. Probably not as big as the underdog this year, but I like it. It's good for this team to, not necessarily have the target right on the back of them. But with that said, Alabama is still going to be that game that everybody looks forward to. No update on Deshawn Jones. Not yet, Jeff. As soon as, that comes out, we will get a video up on that. But no video on, big update on Deshawn Jones. So I guess that's how I have it. Graham, Caden, Keon Sabb, Parker Brailsford, Jeremy Bernard. I think that's how I'm going to go with it. And then my top 5 quarterbacks for college football. I know I said that I would do that. I'm going to go with Jalen Milroe. Number 2, I'm going to go with Dylan Gabriel. I'm going to go with Quinn. I'm going to go with Carson Beck. And then I'm going to go, and these are my top 5. And then I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to go with Shedeur Sanders too in my top 5 quarterbacks. Chris, what's up, man? Appreciate you. What's interesting is they have the Lank song coming out, right? That's going to be out at some point. Lance, what's up, man? See you being here. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And if you're just joining us, no update on Deshawn Jones. But when one comes, we got you covered. And I think everything should be good. It's just probably there might be something behind the scenes. Caitlin, what's up? Appreciate it. Yeah. Good to see you, Caitlin. Hope you're having a good night. Chris from New Jersey, what's up? Appreciate you. We got Coach Sean rolling in about 10 minutes. Jokic won another MVP. Not surprised. It's crazy watching him. Like how he is on the court. It's unbelievable. He basically has like a double-double before you're like in the second quarter. It's insane. Caitlin is saying, never late, always straight. Too much rap music. Appreciate you. What's up, Chris? Good to see you, man. Jeff, what's up, man? Appreciate you. Yeah, man. You know, I am live every single morning. Today I was not because I took the kids to an orthodontist appointment. And then, you know, wanted to warm up the show before Coach Sean got here. So I'm going to wrap with Coach Sean for a little bit before I turn the keys over to Coach Sean, a true professional. But you know, I was asking today is like, what will Coach Saban miss most about coaching? That was one of the major headlines today. And I think that clearly is, you know, the relationship with players. And I think, you know, I mean, other than that, it was good to see Coach Kalen DeBoer and Coach Saban together at this Regions Pro-Am. I think I would say I think Alabama has done a really good job in passing the torch from Coach Saban to Kalen DeBoer. It was never going to be easy. It was never going to be like this really smooth transition. Maybe it could have, let me back up. Maybe Coach Saban could have like announced like who it was going to be or something like that. Cause I think we were caught off guard and that's like, you know, that hurts. But over that, I think they've done a really good job, like PR wise, of kind of patching things together. And, you know, they clearly coexist right now. I mean, Coach Saban is still doing interviews, right? Like at the Regions Pro-Am today, like he did an interview. I'm sure you guys have seen it. Chris, what's up? That looks, you know what? I have never played. That course is, what is that course called? I have not played. Is it Harbor Ridge? No, it's not Harbor Ridge. I don't know what it is. I went last year and I got there early and it was pouring rain and it is a private golf course. So like if you were a member at North River, you could play over there. Old Overton. I think that's what it's called. But I have not played there. But I went and like walked through the clubhouse and stuff like that last year. It was amazing. It was a really nice setup for sure. I need to get out and, you know, play for sure. I haven't played in a little bit. I'm thinking about renewing my membership out at North River to be able to get out there. I live like Old Colony isn't too far. So Old Colony is a public course, which is right behind. And then North River is not that far from me either. I live like right in between them. And then they just opened up a new course here in Tuscaloosa, which is called Hidden Meadows, which is on the back end, kind of going to Lake Lurleen, if you've been out that way. And then they have another course, which I haven't played, which is the Links, which is on, you know, another side of town. So those are the courses that you have here. But Old Colony is nice. It's a really nice public course, Greystone course and Country Club, huh? Chris, what's up? I see you guys in the side of the comment box. And then on Jalen Hell, like if you guys can, you know, just like thoughts and prayers for him, like when you're out there, you know, he posts updates periodically by himself about the status of him. He's a wide receiver, a very talented wide receiver. I think, you know, when we were talking in the spring season that he could have been like pushed for maybe some starting, like some playing time. And then he got hurt his leg. So just keeping your thoughts and prayers because, you know, it's always, you know, there's always somebody who seems to get injured. And in this case, it's him. Very talented young man. Hope to see him healthy again. Saban is just, he's living his best life, 100%. He looks good out there. He can play some golf too. I'm telling you. Said it earlier in the show is like that he can read the greens. And if you play golf, it's all your short game, right? Like if you can putt, you can play. I think if I would have learned about golf, you know, if I was to learn golf again, I would have learned how to putt and then kind of worked my way up to your larger clubs. I think we always, like, if you go out to the driving range or whatever, you go and you just want to like smash balls. I don't know. It's like, it's all touch. It's all like everything, like, you know, 25 yards in. That kind of makes or breaks you in golf. You know what? Yeah, one of the things that I noticed on Coach Kalen DeBoer's swing, it was relaxed. It wasn't, he wasn't trying to kill it, and that's the thing. You let the club do the trick. That's kind of one of the things is like when you play golf is kind of nice and easy. Nice. It's a relaxed game, right? It could be frustrating though too. So overall, those were kind of the high points, kind of recapping the spring transfer portal, Brockemeyer, Parker Brailsford, Jalen Milroe, and his progression with his offense, and then on Jalen Hill's recovery. And then with Coach Saban, what does he miss most about coaching? And that's the relationship with the players, and building those relationships as he did in such a positive way. But I think, like I was saying earlier, I think now he can continue to build those relationships to where it helps Alabama. Can you imagine like what was said out on the golf course on Monday when he played with Tua and Mark Ingram, right? Like those are millionaires. What if he was like in there, and who better to learn about NIL and how to take care of Alabama than from Coach Saban himself? So if Coach Saban is talking about NIL and how Yay Alabama impacts Alabama and how good this team can be because you have more money to go out and get more players or whatever, then I think you could get what better player as a liaison than Coach Saban, right? Like Tua, I know you have $35 million, but this is what we have at the University of Alabama, blah, blah. And, I would be curious to see how many guys in the NFL are contributing back to Yay Alabama. I bet it's a lot. Right? I mean, I think there's like a tweet that Alabama football always pushes around. There's like $1 billion or so that these players have generated and earned, right? The NFL is built by Bama. We know this. And I'm kind of curious how much money is going back to Yay Alabama. I don't know. Be a lot. Caitlin up in here, Patriot Life, Chris. We see you guys. I appreciate you guys being in here. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Got Coach Sean coming up in a few minutes to talk about some Alabama football. And we're in. Oh, looks like we got Coach Sean jumping in soon. Coach Sean, tell me when you're ready, man. I'll bring you on. Coach Sean getting set up on deck, and then we'll bring in Coach Sean. Yeah, it's been a good day, man. The heat is coming in. It's hot. It's that time. Once NIL is in-house, they can do... What's up, Matthew? Once NIL is in-house, they can do those and meet the great donors for fans and alumni. Yeah. Everything... I mean, NIL now is not what NIL is going to be in like 5 years. Coach, give me a thumbs up if you're ready to come on. All right, cool. Coach Sean, what's up, man? What's up, Coach?
What's up, Kyle? How you doing, man? What's going on?
What's up, Efron? See you, man.
How you doing?
Dip pizza and mayo, Efron. What's up, man? How's your day been, Coach?
Busy, man. I just got in like maybe 20 minutes ago.
Yep.
So I'm hopping right on.
Coach Saban and Coach Kalen DeBoer were up at the Regions Pro-Am today. And this is a golf tournament that takes place every day for, the children in Alabama or children. It's some sort of charity event. And they spoke about some high points. They showed off their golf swings. As you know, Coach Saban is an avid golfer. He loves golf. Yeah. You know what? Cedric loves golfing too. Like those guys, like, you know what? So I saw Cedric at Chuck's here in Tuscaloosa. And T and I were eating. And he came up and they just changed. They put on the golf station for Cedric. Like, and it was like a Friday night. Like, but he got his TV. And I was thinking about this, and I talked about this earlier in the show. It's like, what do you think Coach Saban will miss most about coaching? He was asked that today, and he said the relationship with the players. You're probably not surprised to hear that, Coach.
Of course. The relationship with the players, just being a part of like a team, being a part of something. That's what you miss when you stop playing or stop coaching. You miss that more than anything.
Yeah.
The journey, some people may say you miss the championships. You miss the journey of getting to the championship is what you miss. Those are the memories that you carry with you more than actual winning. The ups, the downs, the relationships, the bad and the good. And being a part of that is definitely what you'll remember as a coach, especially somebody as seasoned as Coach Saban.
Coach, is there like a specific year that stands out when you think back about Coach Saban's career?
For me, it would have to be the 2000. What is that? The tour year, 2018,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because of Jalen Hurts and because I
Yeah.
personally think when you look back, that's going to probably be a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen was a freshman All-American. The
Yep.
way he came in and started was really, really weird. Blake Barnett was this 5-star, super hyped quarterback, and he just looked like a deer in headlights. Jalen was a true freshman, came in, started from a true freshman, made freshman All-American, All SEC, came in, did everything. His
Mm-hmm.
passing game fluttered at times. He wasn't quite developed as a passer. In comes 5-star Tua, another highly rated shotgun, great, blue chip quarterback. And it's crazy how Tua goes down. Jalen, gets benched or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Tua comes out, throws a touchdown pass. We win a championship.
Yeah.
The next year, Tua goes down. Jalen comes in. We win the SEC championship.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that story was just different than any other story that you'll see.
Yeah. I remember, I mean, that's kind of when I had a couple years under my belt at that point in time. And, I was right in the room listening to all this go down and kind of trying to figure out, how exactly Coach Saban was going to manage that quarterback. That was a quarterback controversy, but
Yeah.
that was amazing because you had Tua, who was making all this progress by the end of the year. But he still didn't get on the field. And it took, imagine Coach Saban, going to that national title game and having to put another quarterback in there. Like, man, that's coaching at the highest level. And that's having confidence in the number twos, right? You're only one play away from being the guy. And he gave a freshman, like, think about that, Coach. It gave a freshman a shot when they were trailing against Georgia in the biggest game.
Yep.
And then the next year. So, and this is why I don't think this will ever happen again, because you would, if the transfer portal was active at that point in time, more than likely, like, and this might not be the case because Jalen is such a stand-up individual.
Yeah.
But he could have had any amount of money that he wanted. He could have left, right? Jalen Hurts came back, lost his job to Tua, stayed and never said a word.
Yep.
And then when they needed him in the SEC championship game in the same field where he lost his job, he came back and won the SEC title.
This is why I think Jalen will forever be revered in Alabama football lore. And to see Coach Saban as choked up as he was, I've never seen Coach Saban that choked up.
Yep.
To go through those things, man, that to me, that year touched me more than any other year I can remember.
Yeah. And then the year for me too is just this last year. Yeah. I mean, I think in terms of coaching and kind of like bringing your team to the highest level, he did that. And to be able to steer a team back on course after that Texas game and be able to steer your team back on track when they were trailing against Ole Miss, when they were tied with South Florida at halftime, when they were trailing against Tennessee. I mean, there are so many different parts of that last season that could have broke that team. Yeah, but it took his coaching to finish out that year. I do think that they overachieved like that. Yeah. I don't know, like that team. I mean, clearly they didn't have it all. Otherwise, they won a national championship. That team could have lost like 3 or 4 games last year.
That's a fact. This team had its issues. That's a whole fact. They definitely had their issues. I think the revolving door of coaches finally caught up to Coach Saban. Mm-hmm. Everybody's not going to be those coaches that Coach Saban had in his first couple of seasons. Everybody's not going to be as seasoned as a Billy Napier or a Lane Kiffin or a Kirby Smart or a Mario Cristobal. Everybody's not going to be the best recruiter like those guys. So for Coach Saban to win with as many different coaches as he did, Coach Saban is by far, hands down, I don't even think it's close, the best college football coach to ever do it. And that's a whole fact.
A couple points that Coach Kalen DeBoer hit on today at the Regents Pro-Am during his interview was the spring portal window, James Brockemeyer, Parker Brailsford, Jalen Milroe, and the progression of Jalen Milroe, and Jalen Hell's recovery. Let's start with Jalen Milroe. And him progressing. He said that clearly he's progressing, but he wants Jalen Milroe to know the entire offense, like what the tight end's supposed to do, what the and I get that. But this is the first time that Alabama will have a completely different offensive playbook. So I can't even imagine the complexities for Jalen Milroe and the rest of the quarterback room, because this is a new system and they're working with this every single day to understand all this. And I'm sure they pretty much have it down, but it's not Saban's philosophy anymore. This is a whole new show.
Yeah. It's a entirely new show, and it's going to be exceptionally tough. It's tough for me, right? As positive as I try to be, it's tough to turn the page from 17 years, man. 17 years of utter dominance, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's extremely tough. It's almost impossible. But you got to force yourself and to know that it's a different coaching staff, it's a different day. And to be quite frank, Coach Saban is 70 plus years old, 72, I think, years old, man. It's time. It's time for Coach to take a breather. It was.
Yeah.
Coach Saban has earned the right, man, to walk off at his own apparel. And it's time. It's time for Coach Saban to give way to another coach and let him take his crack at it. I wish Coach Saban could coach till he was 90, right? But things change, kids change, recruiting landscapes change, college football change. And you gotta honestly change with the times to keep up. So I agree with you 100%. Coach DeBoer is gonna put his fingerprint on it, and we just got to stand behind him and watch what happens.
Coach Kelly DeBoer talked about James Brockermeyer moving on, says he wishes him the best. Kind of kept it short and brief, of course, but he mentioned that Parker Brailsford will be back and he will be on this team. So when you look to the offensive line, coach, and if you just start with the interior offensive lineman, you start with Tyler Booker, James Brockermeyer, who I would imagine is going to be the center, and then you have Jaden Roberts. That group, and you have Kane Proctor coming back, right? It's 4 offensive linemen. Isn't how excited are you for that nucleus? And maybe some good homework for you too, to kind of be like to watch Parker Brailsford, what you've seen from him.
I got you already.
Yeah,
I got you already.
Perfect. So what's kind of the detail on that?
Let me explain something about Parker Brailsford that I watched. And I had put this together because there was several people hitting me, asking me about the offense, and I was going to get with Coach Jaya and kind of go over this for the people that didn't know last time. Parker Brailsford, man, for this offense. Now, Parker Brailsford does not fit what Alabama does last year. He's not a power hat on hat type center, right? Parker Brailsford is a zone scheme, pin and pull, athletic type center. That's what you need in this type of offense, especially from the center, because the center is the quarterback. I watched these guys play Oregon in both games, right? Washington versus Oregon. You don't see centers pulling from the center spot to the strong side of the formation, picking up the defensive end on a shotgun play, right? On a play action play. To see a center pull like that, that I can't explain. I don't think we done that all year last year. All year. These guys threw 73 screens last year. Tell me when's the last time any of you seen Alabama throw a screen pass consecutively? I can't tell you when, right? So Parker Brailsford is smaller. It's okay. You don't have to be big to play center, especially when you're moving. Your offensive line does a lot of zone scheme, a lot of play action scheme, a lot of pin and pull, a lot of pass set. Parker Brailsford is the type of center you need: quick, strong, small, agile, and can get out on the perimeter, and that's what you need.
Coach, so because that was one of the biggest things, like when people look at his particular size, a lot of people were like, well, he's not like this big imposing offensive center, but as you just said, you don't necessarily need to be. I think that when you look to Alabama's offense, you like what you have with the offensive line. Caden Proctor, I think, will certainly progress. I'm curious to see where he is weight-wise. When we saw him recently, he was at the Hey Coach show, and he looked like he had slimmed down. He's a huge human. Like, yeah. He played too heavy in my opinion, and I think if once he gets weight down, he'll be fine. He'll be much more improved. And he's an NFL guy, 100%. I would imagine at this point in time, it's Will Conformby on the outside. But you bring up a really good point. the way that you're able to use your weapons on the offense, I think Coach Kalen DeBoer, that's where I think he's going to flourish. Probably the coach that can utilize the most talent since Steve Sarkisian in my mind. You kind of look to kind of glimpses like what they did with Kendrick Law. How they're able to get him the football in small spaces just recently. And I think he's going to be able to utilize a lot of those guys very effectively. And I think that when you talk to top offensive minds, there's Lane Kiffin, there's Steve Sarkisian, and I think Kalen DeBoer isn't too far off that, which is pretty incredible.
Listen, I tell people this so much. Shout out to my brother Ty Hayes in the chat. Shout out to Ty, man. What's up, Ty? How you doing, my friend? Listen, this guy, Coach DeBoer, is the closest thing you'll see to a Lane, a Sark, because Lane and Sark ran a lot of pre-snap motion.
Yes.
Tommy Reese ran pre-snap motion very minimal. And remember this, we hadn't had a really counter scheme since Sark left. Do y'all remember the Ohio State game when we ran rips, lizzes, motions with Devontae Smith to confuse the defense? This team, Coach DeBoer, they run counter in a variety of ways, man. Go back and watch any of his games, even dating back before Washington. These guys run counter with the guard and the tight end. They run counter with the guard and the tackle. They even run counter with the center and the tackle, peeling back, picking up the defensive end. We don't do that at Alabama. We hadn't done that since those guys left. I think with a quarterback like Jalen Milroe, who will run the ball, who can throw the deep ball, who has to get better on his intermediate passes, that'll help him greatly because they pick on the safety. They monitor the safety. They see if they're playing one safety high, two safety high, and they run their plays based off of that guy. I think Jalen Milroe is going to flourish in this offense. This is what we needed him to do last year. Get him out of the pocket, get him away from 3 and 5 steps drops, roll him out, let him create in chaos. That's where he is dynamic. It's the same game plan we used against Kentucky. We should have used that game plan for the entire season.
Got a super chat in here from my boy Kiltack. Everyone share the thumbs up. Let's get it to 110K before the season. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I appreciate you, Kiltack. We appreciate you, man. That would certainly be a lofty goal, to get to 110, we could keep climbing and excited for the future growth. So we appreciate you, Kiltack. Thank you so much, man. What's up, Jack? See you inside the comment box. Nicole, what's up? Good evening to you. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Adam, what's going on? Appreciate you being here. Coach, we've been talking a little bit about kind of some of these early season lines, right? And like what we have going on here. One of the ones that kind of like that back end schedule for Alabama is something that I always talk about. It's crazy to think that Alabama's going to have to go to Oklahoma, where they are just a 1.5 favorite against the Sooners, and then come back and play Auburn. So when you talk Oklahoma and then Auburn, you could talk about Brent Venables and then Hugh Freeze like that. And then depending on where Alabama is, like let's say they play in the SEC championship and let's say it's Kirby Smart, you could play Brett Venables, then you could play Hugh Freeze, then you could play Kirby Smart. Like this is big time college football.
Man, listen, I'm on record of saying right now that Oklahoma game on the road, that is an extremely dangerous game. An extremely dangerous game. If you know anything about Norman, Oklahoma, those fans will pack that house and probably have a record attendance against Alabama.
Yeah.
Right? They want to measure themselves against Alabama, especially if we go into that game one loss, undefeated. Oklahoma will have a record sellout that game.
Yes.
Their fans, and those are some true fans in Norman, Oklahoma. They'll be loud. It's Oklahoma, man. You got to give Oklahoma their just due. Oklahoma is a blue blood program. I know they hadn't won in a long time, but as far as the fans, as far as the tradition, as far as what football mean to Oklahoma, they're in the top 10 in the country. So Alabama we better be on our P's and Q's that game, man. Just like we were 2 years ago going on the road to Tennessee, going on the road to LSU. We weren't expected to lose those games either. Going on the road is extremely tough, man. Especially when you have young corners out there. So that is a very dangerous game. Brent Venables is a defensive technician. They have a lot of great experienced offensive players. That's a very dangerous game. Don't ever look over Oklahoma.
And what are your thoughts about Hugh Freeze? Because I mean, you mentioned kind of pre-snap movement, and you know who else did a good job of that was the Michigan offensive coordinator. There was a couple times during some series where they were moving people all over the field. They looked like the 49ers. It was amazing to see. It was tough to deal with. Hugh Freeze, he had misdirections, and they were able to rush for 244 yards on Alabama, on Nick Saban, which is like unheard of. Like, you don't see anybody picking up that type of yardage, but they did a really good job. What are your thoughts on Coach Hugh Freeze? And I get it. Things aren't going well for Auburn, but it doesn't matter. Like, that game, it's going to be like the Iron Bowl. We've learned it doesn't even matter. It's crazy. I don't know why, but it's just that game's going to be tight.
I'll say this about Hugh Freeze. You can never count that guy out on the offensive side of the ball, right? Hugh is one of the best offensive play callers out there. If you had a top 10, he would definitely be in the top 10. He's a great offensive play caller. You have to remember what he did with Auburn last year against us. Those guys weren't very talented, right?
Mm-hmm.
The quarterback was into a new scheme. Peyton Thorne, I believe his name is. Well, they have some receivers now. They have Penn State's receiver. They got a lot of young talented receivers. They got a lot of offensive linemen back. Offensively, Hugh Freeze is going to be a thorn in our side, right? Mm-hmm. The thing about Auburn is I'm glad we get them at the end of the season, because usually when we get Auburn at the end of the season in Tuscaloosa, we can beat them up a little bit, beat them up front, right? It's in, like you said, it's in Jordan Hare where all the wonky stuff go on, right?
That's true.
It's crazy going. We almost lose every time we go there.
No, I know.
No matter how. Look at, people forget about this, Kyle. 2 years before last year, right? Of course, they came to Bama. Think about 2 years before that when Bryce was there and we had to win in overtime to Mechie. We forget about that. We had the much better team that year, right? Yeah. So Hugh Freeze, I give him his credit. He's a great coach. I don't take nothing from Hugh Freeze at all.
All right, we got some breaking news for everybody. Coach, we'll break it down right here. But Deshawn Jones has just officially committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. We knew it was coming, and we get the news in here right now. So we'll go ahead and break it together, Coach, and we'll do this live real quick. So let me get a video up real quick. I don't know if you've had a little opportunity to see Deshawn Jones. He's a corner out of Wake Forest. Coach, why don't you load him up before we start this video?
Watch Deshawn Jones film. Watch when they played Georgia Tech. I watched when they played Florida State. I watched a lot of him playing Florida State. And I talked about last night how I watched him play a lot of off coverage. They had him playing a lot of off coverage, and that's where he got 2 of his 3 interceptions against Georgia Tech and against Vanderbilt in off coverage. He'll be asked to play man at Alabama. He played man a lot of times. He played on the inside a lot of times. I don't think he's as tall as everybody think he is. I read where he was 6'1". I read where he was 6'1.5". Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's quite that tall, but the one thing I do like about him is he's aggressive. The kid is aggressive. Mm-hmm. When they allow him to play man and correct leverage, he is aggressive. He will take chances. He is a ball hawk. And in this defense with the vision coverage, that could work out well for turnovers.
All right. Let's do it in 3, 2. All right, breaking news as Deshawn Jones has officially committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Here with Coach Sean to break it all down. Coach, this is a really big pickup for Coach Kalen DeBoer when you continue to work the spring transfer portal and you look at the additions that have come in. You were talking about a little bit of detail. When you look to this secondary, how important was it to pick up somebody who has experience considering all the depletion from Alabama secondary?
I think it was imperative. Experience is finite. Stars are okay, and I love stars, right? The 5-star, the 4-star, but experience at cornerback is finite. Going into the season, I don't think it'll really hurt us the first game or two, but going into the Wisconsin game on the road, going into the Georgia game, and especially going into these better offenses that we'll see down the road, it is imperative that you get a corner that has played. I love the stars. I think Xavier Brown is going to be an All-American. I think that kid is going to be one of the best corners, a la Pat Surtain. But I do think early in the season, you need experience at that cornerback spot. If you go into the season against South Florida at Bama, an experienced offensive coordinator, they're going to pick on you with basic stuff. Look no farther than A-Day when they ran a simple mesh route. Xavier gets caught up in the wash. That's an old school trick. Everybody that played this game know that's an old school trick. And the young man got caught up in the wash. He didn't play it right, played the wrong shoulder leverage. And Jeremy Bernard caught a big bomb. So you definitely want to get some experience at corner. Young man goes down. Who's behind him? Other freshmen. Jaleel Hurley, a bunch of kids who hadn't played. It is finite that you have a corner that has at least seen game action. And Deshawn Jones has most certainly seen that.
Who else stands out to you from this Alabama secondary? Because when you look to Alabama secondary, you only have one returning starter from last season, and that is Malachi Moore. You know, you look to Keon Sabb, you look to Damani Jackson, Devontae Smith. His season was cut short. Now you welcome in Deshawn Jones. You have Cam Howard who joins, and then you have a bunch of these rising freshmen that will certainly contribute but don't have game experience. What else you kind of look into when you look to this Alabama secondary? Questions you have, players you're excited to see, perform at a high level this season?
I want to see, do they keep Malachi back in the back on the hash mark, or they bring him closer to the line of scrimmage at that rover? I want to see, do you replace Devontae Smith with Malachi and put Devontae Smith back on the hash mark? It seems to me the closer Malachi is to the line of scrimmage, the closer you can get him in that star position or something like the star, like the rover, I guess. The better Malachi plays. It seems like when you take him off that hash and put him more in the coverage situations, he sometimes has issues. So that's going to be extremely important going into the fall. And me and Ty and me and Jared, we all said this fall camp here in a few months will be the most important fall camp that Alabama has had in recent memory.
I like the additions thus far, and I think you certainly had to add somebody who had experience. And I know there was a couple guys that were supposed to be here that have pushed visits back or committed elsewhere, but I think you got your guy. And I wanted to ask you this, Coach. When you look to Alabama's secondary coaches, you have Mo Lindquist, you have Colin Hitchler. And in last season, it was Coach Saban who worked with the corners, and you have Travaris Robinson. I think that had to do with a lot of the leakage following the season, as people following them, which I get, or people going around. But, Mo Lindquist, what he's been able to do, I mean, you're talking about an elite level coach. You're talking about a head football coach just recently at the University of Buffalo, brings a lot of experience. He's worked in the NFL. Colin Hitchler, a little bit more silently known. He was at Wisconsin, but I would imagine that Mo Lindquist is going to be one of the fastest uprising names that we're starting to talk about when you look to this coaching staff.
I love Mo Lindquist. He's a good evaluator, and this guy is a grinder. He doesn't mind hard work. He's a young, energetic coach, and that's what kids these days like. I've been at several camps where these kids gravitate to coaches like that. Kids don't really like the boring coach that don't really say much, the serious coach. Coach Saban got a lot of people, a lot of discounts because of his name. This is Coach Saban. Look what he's done. But kids love the energetic coaches. To have a DB coach who's young, who's relatable, who understands schematically what these kids want to do and how they want to play, I think it is imperative to have a coach like that, and I hope he stays at Bama.
Coach, we've talked about this before, but, opposite of, let's say just, hypothetically, Deshawn Jones comes in and he's able to win the spot of a corner spot. On the opposite side, it's probably going to be Damani Jackson. Have you had a chance to evaluate Damani Jackson? Where are we at in terms of his ceiling? I think that he just hasn't properly, been able to really showcase his ability. And I think, this could be a guy who turns into an elite corner. We just haven't seen it yet.
Man, I like Damani. I've been high on Damani since before he committed to play at USC. Alabama was in his final three. I think it was Bama, Michigan, and USC. This kid was close to coming to Alabama. I like Damani. I don't think USC used him to his abilities at all. Damani is a press corner. They had him bailing so many times, playing zone so many times. I watched those guys scheme, and I do not understand what the hell they were doing with Damani. I don't understand how they were using this young man. He's coming off an injury himself. Very, very fast young man, California state champion track. I think Damani is awesome. I think the way they're going to use him here at Bama is complementary to his skill set. And I think this kid is going to have a huge year. Damani might be a one and done because I do believe Damani is going to have a great, great season. I believe that in my heart.
Coach, I wanted to ask you this before I let you get to your segment to close out this hour. In terms of working the transfer portal, Coach Kalen DeBoer, I feel that he's done a really good job. And in my mind, the biggest addition to this team was Graham Nicholson, the Lou Groza Award winner, because you 1 million. It's still amazing to think that Alabama lost the best field goal kicker, place kicker in college football. I feel that he should have won the Lou Groza Award last year. He was beaten out by this young man. And then you go and you get Graham Nicholson. I think that is the biggest pickup. You also have Caden Proctor, Keon Sabb, Parker Brailsford, Jeremy Bernard, Josh Cuevas, a couple other guys, that have been added. And now Deshawn Jones, Cam Howard. Who would you say are like the top two biggest additions, just off the top of your head in the springtime, that have been added under Coach Kalen DeBoer during the spring transfer portal window?
For me, the top pick to me is Caden Proctor. The offensive line to me is the most important unit on the offense. We've as Bama fans should know that better than anybody. If the O line does not play well, it just looks terrible. Everything looks terrible. The run game looks terrible. The quarterback looks terrible. The wide receivers look terrible. Caden Proctor is an all freshman All-American. The kid had his ups and downs. He was a 17-year-old freshman coming into the SEC straight from high school. The kid had plays where he dominated people. He pancaked people. Go watch him against Georgia. He absolutely whipped the defensive end across from him. Caden lost weight. I passed right by the kid at A-Day when we was going to sit down. The kid looks like he's about 335, 340, I would say. This kid is important to me. If I had to pick another, I would say Jeremy Bernard. Those two guys on the offensive end. This is an offensive coach. So a la Lane Kiffin, a la Sark. This is an offensive guy. Tommy Rees is an offensive guy too, but Tommy Rees is a different style. Tommy Rees is not a big pre-snap motion guy, right? So I do say that Caden Proctor and Jeremy Bernard, to me, are the two biggest pickups because this offense, we may have to lean on them for a game or two until the defense gets its legs under.
He's Coach Sean. I'm Kyle Henderson, both of Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here, and give us your take on Deshawn Jones and all the transfers that have been added under Coach Kalen DeBoer in the spring portal window. As news happens, we got you covered right here at Bama Football on YouTube. Hey, Coach, have a good segment, man. Close out the rest of the hour. Please, fam, please support Coach Sean like you guys would support me. Coach, I turn the keys over to you, man, and do your thing, man.
Gotcha, brother. Appreciate it. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to all the undefeated, man. Much love to you guys. Let me look and see who we got in here, man. I love acknowledging you guys. I appreciate you more than you know. Shout out to my broski, Ty Hayes. You know what I mean? Love Ty, man. Ty has an absolute man. Listen, if you ever want to know film, if you ever want to talk, debates, if you ever want to find the real hardcore facts and why Alabama football is what it is, match it with Ty Hayes. And that's a whole fact, man. Shout out to Coach Jay. You know what I mean? Shout out to Jeff Horn. Shout out to my broski, Adam Lamparillo. You know what I mean? Shout out to my broski from another Moski, Patriot Life. What's up, Patriot Life? How you doing, bro? Good to see you. J.A. Kelly, roll tide to you. Lance Hunter, roll tide to you, man. Caitlin Ingle, got you back. Appreciate you, Caitlin. Much love to you. Roll tide to you. Chris from New Jersey, roll tide to you. Nicole Covington, I'm glad you in here. It's good to see you, Nicole. I appreciate you more than you know, man. More than you know, for sure. Ephraim, OG Ephraim is in the house. Ephraim, we always got love for you, broski. You already know what it is. Who else we got? Chris from New Jersey is one of my favorite callers. Love listening to Chris. Byron Walker, what's up, Byron? Roll tide to you, brother. Love that block A. Love that, man. Who else we got, man? J.A. Kelly, as I said. Jeff Horn, roll tide to you, Jeff. Who else we got, man? Roll tide, Lisa Fitz, you. Good to see you, Lisa. You always tap in with me on Twitter. I appreciate you, Lisa. You know what I mean? I always love your comments. I thank you. I appreciate you more than you know. Dustin Hodge is in here. What's up, Dustin? How you doing, man? Good to see you, bro. Steven Angle is in here, my broski right there. What's up, Steven? Prayers to you, brother. Hope you're doing good. Rocket Town, what's up with you, man? How you feeling, man? Oh, man, Ty, you already know how I feel, brother. You already know, man. William Dansby, roll tide to you, William. Good to see you, brother. Patriot Life, my broski, you already know. MJ, particular misfit. What's up with you, brother? How you feeling? It's good to see you. Clinton Howard, roll tide to you, man. Bentley boy, SBJ is in here. What's that, Pastor Sean? Shout out to you, Bentley boy. Roll tide to you, my brother. Kill Tack, man. We appreciate that super chat, man. Thank you for tapping in, brother. You already know. Matt Farms, what's up with you, man? How you feeling, man? Big Bama is in the house, man. Roll Tide, Big Bama. Fred Harris, what up with you, brother? How you doing, man? Bama Fan 95. There go my partner right there, man. Had the pleasure of meeting Bama Fan. Roll Tide to you, man. Good to see you. Thank you for coming, man. Pastor B, what's up, Pastor B? How you doing, man? Good to see you in here. Good to see you in here, man. Thank you. Y'all, please hit that like button if you can. If you hadn't already, really, really, really appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for tapping in. Much love to you all. So, the offense, here we go. The offense, man, under Coach Kalen DeBoer. I'm so ecstatic about this offense, man. I'm really hype about it. It's been a long time coming before we actually had an offense that allowed us to use all the receivers, right? Receivers just didn't learn one spot, right? So I'm really, really, really excited about that. The X, the Z, you got to learn both. The Y, you got to learn all the receiver spots, right? Really excited about that. Really excited about extenuating our tight end room. Really excited about that. What's up, Brian Russell? Roll Tide, Brian. Good to see you, man. So you say, well, Coach Sean, what makes this offense different? You know what I mean? Then I appreciate you, Matt Farms, my broski. You already know, man. What makes this offense different than Tommy Rees? Tommy Rees's offense. What's up, Jimmy Baker? Roll Tide, brother. Roll Tide. When you look at Tommy Rees's offense was very, 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 and Adam Lamparillo said it. Adam Lamparillo said we ran a lot of pre-snap motion against Michigan. We did run pre-snap motion against Michigan, Adam, but it was pre-manufactured pre-snap motion, if you know what I mean. Let me say it like this. Pre-snap motion without a play progression is just window dressing. It's a difference in pre-snap motion to actually run a play and pre-snap motion just for window dressing to see if you're in man or to see if you're going to follow us or to just to get you out of place and get your eyes in the wrong direction. It's totally different. Play progression versus play adjustment. It's totally different. We ran a lot of pre-snap motion that we had put in that week, and we never ran a play off of it, right? Michigan didn't bite on it at all. They obviously had a very sound film study on Alabama. If they sent somebody in pre-snap motion, nobody even paid attention. We didn't hit a check down a lot, right? Remember I talked about that, right? They didn't care. They was going to let you throw underneath to the running backs and the flats all day long. That didn't scare Michigan one bit. They did not come out of their defense. And Coach Jay, to his credit, talked about that. Coach Jay said Michigan will not adjust to anything Alabama does new that they have not done all season long. That's not the type of offensive coordinator that Tommy Rees is, right? This is not Sark to where you can manufacture pre-snap motion and actually have a play progression off of it. Go ask Ohio State about our play progression back then, right? And what I mean by that is Sark would run motion, pre-snap motion, rips, lizzes, and actually run a play off of it. He'd run the same pre-snap motion and then throw a pass off of it. So you had to adjust as a defense. You couldn't just ignore Devontae Smith going in motion. You couldn't just ignore those guys going in pre-snap motion. You couldn't just ignore it. Michigan ignored us. They didn't care if we ran pre-snap motion. They were focused on Jalen Milroe. They were going to hit him regardless. That tells you that the defense was a step ahead of the offense, right? Foundational. Let me put that on screen. Boom. This is what I'm saying. Right here. Foundational play calling. Pre-snap motion, when you are not a pre-snap motion team, great defenses, especially experienced defenses like Michigan. These guys had 14, 15 seniors, man, right? They had 18 people invited to the combine. They're not going to be fooled by that. They had a great defensive coordinator. They clearly watched Alabama's film from all season long. Just because you get Roydell Williams and run him out in the flats, or just because you bring a receiver across the formation, we don't care as the Wolverines. We're going to hit your quarterback. We know you're not going to throw to him. We don't even care if you do, right? So, yes, Adam, you're right. They did run pre-snap motion, but it was pre-snap motion without foundational play calling. It was pre-snap motion without a play progression. That's totally different. That's coaching, right? So you look at the offense last year, hat on the hat, power football, right? Downhill, as we call it, right? That's what our offensive line was supposed to experience in, right? Let me explain something about this offense. In a nutshell, what makes KD's offense work? I'll tell you what makes KD's offense work. Complicated run schemes. Complicated run schemes, right? No brute force, no more brute force complexity with no penetration. No, 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 no. This is based off their run complexity, the misdirection of their run game, right? The athleticism of your offensive lineman. That is what this offense is predicated off of. They run counter in a variety of ways, as I said. They run counters. I watched one play. This is what I'm trying to say. I watched one play, and Ty, you'll appreciate this. I watched one play they ran against Oregon, one play 7 different ways. They ran the same play 7 different type of ways, man, right? With pass options built in. What does that mean, Coach Sean? That means your film study means nothing, right? Your film study means nothing. These guys can run one play 7 different variety of ways with a pass option in the same formation, right? You're thinking, oh, here comes that play again. Nope. Same formation. Now they're throwing the ball right at your safety, right? We hadn't been that diverse in offense since those 2 coordinators we talked about left. Mike Loxley a little bit with his too. I will give him some love, right? So to be able to run counter with your guard, to be able to run counter with your tight end, right? To run counter with your guard and your tackle, right? Even your center and your tackle, right? That is amazing. That is amazing. That is something Alabama has not done in years, guys, right? They run a lot of truck sweeps out of the pistol, right? Defenses cannot penetrate when you do a lot of those counters. They can't just pin their ears back and come, because if they do, a lot of times they'll be out of place. They'll be out of place. That their eyes play tricks on them. You can't just pin your ears back and lunge across the formation, because you'll take yourself out of the play. These guys on offense is outstanding. Coach DeBoer is one of the best offensive minds out there. And this is a fact. So I want you to think about this. I want you to think about Alabama's offense with a smaller Caden Proctor, right? A more agile Caden Proctor, right? A more agile Tyler Booker, a more agile Jaden Roberts, right? A center who led that team, a center who actually made freshman All-America, a center who's absolutely outstanding and will lead this offensive line. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about that, guys. I cannot tell you how Coach DeBoer's shotgun attack, it featured like heavy emphasis on short passing game, but it included a lot of vertical routes. That means going deep down the field, right? A lot of explosive plays, man. A remarkable variety of wrinkles and high degree of unpredictability. Those things is what we need at Alabama. Why do we have to utilize one receiver, right? Don't you guys miss the days when you had Henry and Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith and Jerry Jeudy? Don't you miss the days when all these guys were used? All these guys. That is what we're looking forward to. And then check this out. Dylan Johnson. They had a running back who rushed for 1,100 yards, I think it was, 16 touchdowns on top of all these great pass routes. So they didn't forget about the run game, right? A lot of this stuff is predicated off the run game. So I cannot be more excited for this. The installation of the entire offense will happen in fall camp. These guys run a bevy of screen passes, man. A lot of short throws, route concepts. Route concepts are a big thing. That's something we didn't do at Alabama like the last 2 or 3 years, right? The route concepts were terrible. They were terrible, just to say the least. We did not utilize the receivers we had. We did not, right? A lot of vertical patterns. This will allow Jalen Milroe to really accentuate his talent. Washington last year averaged about 340 plus yards a game, right? These guys were awesome. Their screen package is as diverse as you will find. These guys, I read where these guys threw 73 screens, man. 73 screens, guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm so happy about that. When is the last time you guys saw a screen? Somebody said AJ McCarron and TJ Yeldon. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy about that, bro. What we got? We got Lisa Fizz-U. Lisa Fizz-U with a $10 super chat. Part of why Jalen Milroe has a great season, in my opinion, in addition to Guru Coach KD, offense is he can focus on play and defense, and he won't have to worry about whether the freaking snap will be there every play. That is a 1,000% fact, right? You don't have to worry about looking down, Lisa. You don't have to worry about any of those kinds of things. Just run the play. Thank you, Lisa, for that $10 super chat. We appreciate you more than you know, as always. Thank you for that, you know. Kareem Hood, my broski right there. Kareem with the $5 super chat. Kareem, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for that, brother. You already know how I feel about you. Thank you, man. Thank you for that, man. Appreciate you for sure, man. Shout out to Patriot Life as always, man. Roll Tide to my broski, man. But check this out, Ephraim. I know Ephraim, the OG, he understands. He love that offense. Chris Camp, what's up, Chris? How you doing, brother? Check this out, Adam. They threw 73 screens last year, man. Do you guys know how we could have moved the ball by throwing just a simple screen to Justice Haynes? Put the young man in, let him run the ball a few times to suck the defense in, get some success on the ground, hit him with a screen pass, right? I don't recall us running the damn screen any, and I might be wrong by that, but the fact that I can't remember, that says it all, right? Shout out to Bama Fan 95. So I'm ecstatic about that, guys. You know, to have 73 screen passes let you see the outlook of how this guy wants to score, right? They run a lot of dual crossing routes. What I mean by dual crossing routes is both receivers crossing. What's up, Mimi S? How you doing? Good to see you, Mimi. Freddie Hull, Roll Tide to you, man. How you doing? Yes, please hit that like button, like Ty said. These guys run a lot of dual crossing routes, man. I really love that across the middle of the field, right? From the opposite side of the field, right? So I really love that, man. I love that, creating sort of a rub route, if you will, with one receiver, you know, to free up another. We didn't do that last year at all. Think about what I said. These guys run rub, we call them rub routes, right? Crossing routes in the middle of the field, one receiver crossing to free up another. That is what get corners in trouble. That is what gets, especially young corners, in trouble. It puts a lot of strain on the defense to constantly defend that, guys, right? Horizontally. It puts a lot of strain running from sideline to sideline, right? You throw in a good dose of short curl routes and into loose coverage, and you know, it's a wonder why you have a great run game based off of that, right? So I love that, man. This offense is designed for the quarterback to get rid of the ball quickly. It's designed for that, guys. So I'm excited about it. We have the potential, we have the talent to be great on offense, right? But it's going to all come down to that offensive line. It's going to all come down to that offensive line. That is what it's going to come down to. To run truck sweeps out of the pistol, that means you can have a formation with Justice and Jam in the game at the same time. I've seen that in A-Day. That pistol, you can have both of those guys in the game at the same time. They ran that in A-Day. So, you know, they ran motion 60. I read where Coach KD's offenses ran motion 65% of the time. They ran some type of pre-snap read, pre-snap motion 65% of his time. That is outstanding. So what that means in a nutshell is, if you're on defense, you got a play called. That means whatever you called your play based off our formation, it's probably gonna change at the sound of hike. It's probably gonna change. Bunch sets to the boundary, right? Not to the field side, to the boundary. Who doing that? We didn't do that last year. So I'm excited, man. You know, I I'm an offensive guy. You know, I love offense. I can talk offense all day and all night. The way this guy attacked. What's up, defend? Roll Tide to you, man. Facts, defend. Let me put that on screen. Boom. Defense says screens will make it hard for teams to spy Jalen Milroe. That's a whole fact. The more resources you commit to stopping Jalen Milroe, screens will absolutely break your damn heart. That is the best way I can put it. The screens will break your damn heart. You know what I'm saying? The more you put that safety on the hash, one-on-one with one of our slots, a la Kobe Prentice, we are going to whip your ass. Just the easiest way to say it. And I'm ecstatic about that. No more, base student body right out of the single back. No more 3 receiver sets, trips with 2 of the trips blocking and 1 running the underneath route that everybody can jump. Jalen ain't got nobody to throw the ball to. So I'm ecstatic, man. This guy is going to accentuate all 50 yards across and all 100 yards that way, right? That's what you want, right, Patriot Life? I can't wait for that. I've been waiting for this so long. Why do we keep running these basic offensive plays, right? Putting Jalen Milroe like he's Peyton Manning. If we had Peyton Manning, cool. You want to give me a one-on-one coverage going across the middle? I have no problem letting Peyton handle that, right? So why do we keep treating our quarterback like he's Peyton Manning, right? I don't understand that. Get him out on the edge. Let the threat of his run defeat. Look at the Kentucky game. That is the best way I can say it. The Kentucky game, he had a great game because they extenuated Jalen Milroe's athletic ability. They rolled him out. They made the safeties and corners make a business decision. Do I come up and tackle this guy or do I stay in coverage, right? You stay in coverage, he's going to run. You come up to tackle him, he's going to throw it. Either way, you're dead, right? And we did not exploit that a lot against a lot of teams at all. We did it in the LSU game. We did it in the Kentucky game. Maybe partially the Texas A&M game. Other than that, we tried to bully everybody, and that doesn't work anymore. Just what it is. Just what it is. What's up, Brian? How you doing, brother? Kill Attack. That's just what it is, guys, and I'm excited, man. J.A. Kelly, what's up with you, brother? I'm excited about extenuating the field, man. I'm excited about not using half of the field. Use the whole damn field. I'm excited about why Kobe got 8 targets and Kendrick Law got 2. No, everybody need 8 targets. Everybody. What made Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, what made those kids so great? They all were targeted. And they didn't care who had the better game, right? They were very unselfish. If Devontae is hot, cool. If Jerry Jeudy's hot, cool. They don't care. Long as somebody is making the play. What's up, Jim Parker? Roll Tide to you, man. Chris from New Jersey says, Coach, how much interaction do the coaches have with the summer enrollees? The summer enrollees, I'm sure during the open period, they can talk to them and have interaction and things of that nature. I think the only time they can't have any interaction with those guys is during the dead period. Other than that, if they can have as much interaction as they like, right? I'm sure the kids who already enrolled know the playbook. The only thing they can't do is just practice with them, right? So yeah, the interaction is not limited unless it's a dead period. And speaking of Jalen Milroe, this offense will give Jalen Milroe. What's up, Ebony? How you doing, Ebony? Hey, Ebony, so good to see you. Roll Tide to you, Ebony. It's so good to see you, man. Thank you for tapping in, Ebony. Much love to you, right? Much love to young Noah, too, the baller himself. He'll be here soon, right? Yeah, man. So this offense will help Jalen Milroe, guys, right? It'll help keep our offense on the field, scoring points, and it'll help put people like Noah Carter on the field to destroy your quarterback, right? It'll help keep our quarterback upright and help us whip your quarterback's ass, right? It'll help us put belt to ass on your quarterback. That's what I like. Kids like Noah coming in, right? Training him on more than just one counter move, on more than just one rip or one spin. Get him a counter move on his moves to destroy your quarterback. This will be Milroe's second year starting. I have confidence in Jalen will get better. I have confidence even more that this coaching staff will actually put Jalen Milroe in a position to be successful. They won't have him throwing in the two safeties high, right? They won't have him throwing high-low routes in the two safeties high. For everybody that play football, you know what I'm talking about. High-low route. Same route, one receiver going 15 to 20 yards, one receiver going 10. High-low. You got a high route and a low route. Same route, right? You running that in between two safeties. We did that 1,000 times, and we get mad at him when he hold the ball long. That offensive scheme, I can say it now, sucked. I'm telling you, it sucked. I'm an offensive guy. That offensive scheme was awful, bro. It was awful, right? Now, I won't say it was awful all season. They had some great games against LSU, a great schematic play calling game. LSU played a lot of man coverage, and we ate. We ate, right? Kentucky tried to disguise a lot of things, but their corners were put in a position where they had to make a decision, and they lost. Ebony says, so there's no upper class DBs. As far as cornerback, Ebony, the only upperclassman we have is Damani Jackson. As far as cornerback, safety, we have a couple of upperclassmen. You got Keon Saab, you got Malachi Moore, you got Devontae Smith. We got several upper class safeties. The young kid we got transferring in, Cameron Howard, Deshawn Jones now. Those guys will be upperclassmen. But if you take those transfer enrollees out, Jaleel Hurley is a redshirt freshman. Jalen Mbakwe, Xavier Brown, Xavier Mincy are all true freshmen. I think we only have 5 scholarship corners without the transfers. And that is the weakest I've ever seen Alabama be since Coach Saban's first year. That's a whole fact. So this is not a thing where Alabama wants Deshawn Jones. This is a thing where Alabama needs Deshawn Jones. And Alabama has not been in the position where we need players a lot like that until now. So, you know, it is what it is, man. You know, I personally think the young guys will do fine. But I do, me and Ty talked about this. I do feel better going into the season with some experience on those edges. I'll just say that, man. Jalen Milroe, I honestly believe Jalen will have a good season this year. I just really do believe that, man. You know, I really believe that Coach DeBoer may incorporate more quarterback runs, designed quarterback runs, you know, than he did with Michael Penix. You know, I regardless of how he uses him next season, Milroe is still viewed as one of the best quarterbacks in the conference, right? He was a young guy last year. He made his share of mistakes. He'll tell you that, right? But I'd much rather have an incoming quarterback who started every game than not, right? Anytime you have a returning quarterback, you got a chance to win some big games. Now, in 24/7 Sports, the top of the SEC quarterback, I think Milroe was ranked as the number 4 signal caller in the conference. You know, it was 3 other guys that they had in front of him. If I had to guess, I probably would guess those guys would probably be Quinn Ewers, Jackson Dart, and probably another guy. I'm not sure who that other third guy was, being that he was 4th. So I'm excited. Probably Carson Beck. Yeah, I forgot about Carson. Those 3 guys were probably rated above him, right? And that's okay. That's okay. I think Jalen will have more than enough games to showcase his talent and to make everybody understand that they slept on him, right? And in this offense, Jalen will have opportunities that he did not have last year. This offense, he can actually kick back, read the safety, right? And they'll have option routes, right? Do you run a post or do you run a post corner, right? Call it a cop route. You know, corner post corner, right? Do you run a post or do you run a corner post, depending on where the safety's standing at? This is how they do it. They'll run to the toes of the safety. If that safety closes the distance on the receiver, boom, he'll plant his foot and go to a corner route. If he does not close the space, they'll go ahead and throw the post route. That is as easy as it gets for a quarterback. This is why Michael Penix had such a great season, along with the fact that he had the time to do it. This is not run high-low routes in two safety high like we did last year, beating our head against the wall. No, this is read the safety, and I dare you to come out in the safety, one safety high. I dare you. Read the safety, run to his toes. If he closes the distance on you, turn the post into a corner, post corner, right? If he does not close the distance, go on with your post route. I'll lead you, easy peasy touchdown, right? That is what this offense is. Counters, right? Verticals, short routes, running the ball consistently, pistol formation with both backs on the field together, a variety of things, pin and pull, that won't allow you to sit back there and get a bead on what the hell we're doing like last year, right? You won't be able to Michigan us and Texas us to death with this offense. So I'm ecstatic about it, man. I can't even lie to you. If you want to talk offense, I'll do that all day. Trust me. Shout out to James Richards. What's up, James? How you doing, man? Roll Tide to you, and shout out to Georgia to you, bro. Good evening, Coach Sean. College football can't get here soon. Yeah, man. Yeah, James, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, brother. I hope it do. I hope it do, man. Myself and Coach Jay and Ty and all the coaches, we definitely can't wait for it, man. You know, we'll be seeing you guys in week 3, 4, whatever it is. I'm glad we'll have some adversity to face on the road at Wisconsin before we face Georgia at home. I'm happy about that. We need to go on the road and get punched in the mouth a little bit, learn how to fight through some adversity. I hope we face a little adversity, so when we come to Georgia, it won't hit us the first time, right? So I'm really, really happy about that Wisconsin game. Give us a chance to go on the road and you know, get the hell slapped out of us a little bit, right? So we can learn how to shake it off and get back to regular scheduled programming. So I think that's a very important game for us, James, to have that Wisconsin game right before y'all. I really believe that. Kareem Hood says the screen pass will always set up. Man, listen, Kareem told y'all everything you hear me preaching is in this comment. Everything, and why I'm so happy about, why I get so lit up like a Christmas tree when we talk offense. Defense, I'm like this, right? That's Coach Miro, right? That's Coach Jay. You know what I mean? Offense for me, brother, I'm ready. What y'all want to talk about, right? Kareem Hood says the screen pass always sets up other things. That's a whole fact. Brother, you start hitting them with some successful screens, they're forced to run up. They're forced to react on screen plays. You have to. Well, them things will go for a touchdown, right? Anytime you can get the defense to react, to overreact, to overrun plays, anytime you can get their eyes out of place, right? You have an opportunity for big plays. And this is a whole fact. This is a whole fact. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be crazy. Young Noah will be here. A lot of other young kids here who can play this defense. I think this defense fits young Noah like a glove. You get young Noah out there on that edge, brother. Listen, what tackle is going to be able to block that kid once you get him a second, third move? His athleticism is already stupid crazy, right? What tackle are you going to put on that guy that's going to block that kid? Where is he? Right? Get young Noah on the field, right? Put some more of that muscle on him. He already 230 pounds, Ebony. Get that kid on the field. Let him plant his foot and let him go hunting. Let him go hunting, man. So it's coming. It's coming, bro. And I cannot wait. The offense is going to be outstanding. My brother Adam says, Coach, honestly, it would be nice if Miro could go to be a great passing quarterback. If so, he would be unstoppable. Yeah, I think so, Adam. And you know what, Adam? I think they'll put him in position to help him out, right? They won't ask him to throw none of those crazy routes into, they'll put him in position to actually have some success, man, right? I really believe that. I really looked for him to have a progression year, just like my man Jaden Daniels did. I really do. Caitlin, shout out to you, Caitlin. What's up with you, girl? How you doing? Roll Tide. We're gonna develop nice. Got faith in Bama always. Roll Tide to you, Caitlin. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for that super chat. It really means a lot. We appreciate you as an entire staff. I think everybody that says thank you for that. Thank you. We appreciate you, Caitlin. $20 super chat. Thank you so very much. And I agree with you 1,000%. Man, look, Patriot Life said it best too, man. I never understood why we didn't utilize our tight ends more. I'm going to tell you something, Patriot Life, and I want you to do this for me, because if you do, it's going to make y'all mad. Adam, if you guys get a chance, go back and watch the Michigan game, just our offense. You don't have to watch our defense, and watch how many times the tight end was coming across the formation wide open. But Jalen was either picking the ball up off the ground or running for his life. Go back and watch how we ran a simple mesh with the tight end. He coming across formation, waving his hand. Robbie Oots up to 45, 81. These guys coming across the formation at least 6 times, wide open on 3rd and 4 and 3rd and 5. We couldn't give him the ball. Jalen say hike. It's already 3 Michigan players in the backfield. They twisted and stunted us to death, and we couldn't do anything about it. This is a whole fact. This is a whole fact. Ty says it best. Ty says they will scheme things up for him. That's a whole fact. That's a whole fact. They will scheme things up for Jalen. They will. I don't think they're going to ask Jalen to do anything that's not in his repertoire, if you know what I'm saying. Unlike Tommy Rees. And I'm not going to put it all on Tommy Rees, because there was some great things that Tommy done against some teams. And sometimes Jalen he would see it, but he wouldn't let it go. I don't think the confidence was there. It's sometimes last year, right? I know several times Kobe Prentice was coming down a seam and he just didn't throw it, right? But I think going through a season, the ups and downs, playing against Texas, playing against Michigan, playing against Georgia, playing against LSU, right? The ups and downs of a season will give him astronomical confidence going into this season. Watch the difference. If you guys remember, Jaden Daniels 2 years ago when they beat us at LSU in overtime, all he did was run around on us. He didn't beat us with his arm a lot. We just couldn't stop him. We'd be caught in man. He'd take off running. We couldn't stop him. Look at the progression of Jaden Daniels this past year. This kid was in the pocket destroying you, right? Same type of quarterback. Same type of quarterback. I think Jalen Milroe's arm is better, right? I really do. Now, Jaden Daniels had some electric receivers, as we see, 2 first-rounders, right? But I really do believe Coach DeBoer is going to put Milroe in a position to where Jalen is going to ball out of control. He's not going to put Jalen in a position to fail. I really believe that. If you look, 3 of 9, 100 and something yards and 3 passes, I'll take it. I'll take it. Kill Tack with $20 super chat. Michigan got ugly. Hope OSU struggles. Yeah, me too, Kill Tack. Thank you for that $20 super chat, Kill Tack, man. Roll Tide to you, man. I do too, but man, I'll be honest with you. With that easy, if I can just use one profanity word, with that easy punk ass schedule they got, Ohio State, man, they probably gonna go undefeated. I challenge all of you to go look at their schedule. Their schedule is as different from Florida's as East is from West. Somebody clearly didn't like Billy Napier, and somebody clearly loved Ryan Day. And this is a whole fact. Their schedule is as weak as I've ever seen a Division I team who's supposed to be a Power 5 school competing for a championship play. I've never seen a Power 5 school that's supposed to be awesome, great, with a schedule that's that damn bad. So they're definitely going to be in the playoff, man. They'll definitely be a number 1 seed. They don't play anybody. They play Hubba Bubba University and Scratch My Ass Tech. You know what I mean? This is a straight up fact. And I'm not hating. I'm telling you the truth. If you don't believe me, go look up Ohio State's schedule. It's utterly ridiculous. And I said that. It's a whole fact. Yeah, facts, Adam. 1,000,000% facts. Their schedule is ridiculous, bro. If you think that, listen, if any Big Ten person try to argue with me about their schedule being good, I would challenge you to go look at Florida's schedule. It might make you faint. It might make you faint. Straight up. This is a whole fact. Look at Ebony. Ebony, look. Ebony, listen. Now you can't have it both ways, Ebony. You can't love on the Bucknuts and still love Bama. We just can't have both, Ebony. You got to choose. And young Noah, your bloodline is coming here to represent. So you have to choose the Tide. That's just the rule. Look at last year's schedule compared to this year. We always go hard. Ebony, great. Ebony. Y'all go hard, all right. Y'all go hard in the little 10. Oh, I mean, excuse me, the Big 10. Sorry about that. Yeah, Florida's terrible. Yeah. Yeah, somebody was pissed at Billy Napier, bro. Like, I've never seen a college schedule like the University of Florida's. I've never seen a schedule like that. I just haven't. I've never seen a schedule that tough of a team in my entire life. That is the hardest college schedule I've ever seen. It's almost like every game they play, even the games that's supposed to be winnable games, or against somebody who's good from somewhere. It's if Billy Napier wins 8 games on that schedule, he should win Coach of the Year. Is that tough? Straight up. Straight up. If Billy Napier wins 8 games, he should win Coach of the Year. Defense says, which Bama tight end should we expect to have a breakout season? Look, man, I love Robbie Oots. I love number 45, Robbie Oots. Robbie Oots is tough as nails, right? He can catch. We didn't utilize him enough. The boy got soft hands and he aggressive, and he got a mullet, bro. He got a mullet, bro. He got to be a dog with a mullet, right? If he got a mullet, he's a gangster. Straight up. Shout out to Robbie Oots, man. I love Robbie Oots. Straight up. And his last name is Oots, bro. O-U-T-Z. Oots. Ain't outs. It's Oots. Your name is Oots and you got a mullet. Man, Robbie's a gangster. He's a gangster, bro. I love Robbie Oots. He's a dog, straight up. I think all of our tight ends going to be well. I think the young kid, Caleb Odom, is going to be put in some great situations. I think with Caleb, they'll use him on the inside a lot to get some matchup problems. The thing about Caleb is you got to teach him how to block, because you just can't put him in on passing downs or that'll give it away, right? You got to put him in line at times. You got to put him in the H-back position sometime, because that'll get him lined up on some great favorable matchups for us. You put him at the H-back, what linebacker's covering that guy? You split him out, he's going to have trouble getting off press, as you saw in A-Day, right? I watched his high school film and he played a lot of the X receiver, right? If they're going to use this kid as a hybrid, he's going to have to line up at the H, the inline tight end too, sometime. He's going to have to. And I think if his game progresses and his physicality progresses, putting him at the H, putting him at inline tight end will give him some favorable matchups. He'll be lined up on linebackers then, right? Middle linebackers, outside linebackers, safeties. He'll be lined up in favorable matchups, and I think that benefits him. Ty says, if Florida makes a bowl game, they should build a statue. They should, man. If Billy Napier gets Florida to a bowl game with that damn schedule, they better build him a statue the same day. Same day. Ready-made, right? I challenge each of you to go look at Florida's schedule. Look at the front end, then look at the back end. It's stupid, bro. Trust me. Shout out to J.A. Kelly. Embrace the gump within you, Ebony. I agree. Embrace the Bama in you. Chris Camp says, well, Sean, at least they ain't got us. Facts, Chris. Facts, man. I think these guys play Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, uh, Florida State, um, Miami. It's just like, damn. You know what I'm saying? They have a terrible schedule, bro. That's just no way to put it. Yeah, Robbie Oates the man, brother. He is. I rock with Robbie Oates. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. I love to meet that young man, shake his hand. Yeah, I am, man. I've been on Robbie Oates train for a long time. That kid's tough. I see him pancaking people. I see him putting belt to ass out there a lot, right? Reward that man and throw him the damn ball. Reward that man and throw him the ball because he can catch, man. He can catch. Yeah, he's a bowling ball, man. He's rewarding. The truth is in the details, man. When you throw to him, the kid make things happen. That's just the fact of it. I think CJ has a great season. Yeah, I think so, Stunner Tino. I think he has. What's up, Stunner? How you doing, bro? Roll Tide to you, bro. I think he has a great season, man. I do. I think CJ, will be one of the leaders of that team this year. I really do. I think CJ is going to have an awesome season. CJ will be more that kid, similar to Robbie Oates, can do anything. I think CJ is much more comfortable in this offense because he'll be a target. Now, CJ, when you get open, they'll actually throw you the ball. Right? So, yeah, shout out to our entire tight end room. Danny Lewis. Danny Lewis is another big tight end. What's the young man that decommitted from Ohio State? Was it named Lockhart? Man, I forgot it. Ty Lockwood. Ty Lockwood is going to be great too. We have some tight ends in that room, guys. I promise you that we need to start using. Now, Ebony, now you know I got to get on you. Let me say this, Ebony, because the last time I checked now, Ebony, right? And a lot of my friends are Ohio State fans. But if my recollections serve me right, we played y'all in 2021, 2022, 21 with Mac Jones and them. You remember that game, right? 6 games that y'all played that your fan base was like, we're Ohio State. We should be able to go to the playoffs after 6 games. We're Ohio State. We whipped everybody's ass in 6 games. We're undefeated. We're Ohio State. Cool. I don't disagree, right? But after that belt to ass whooping, that Bama beat you 52-24 when Devontae Smith took the second half off. The fans of Ohio State was, well, we only played 6 games. So it's okay. It's okay. I understand. And I know what you're going to say because my friends tell me the same thing. Well, what happened in 2014? And I tell them this, Ebony, my fine, sweet partner, I love you to death. I tell them this. I tell them in 2014, that was a decade ago. That means the freshmen who are 18 years old were 8 years old then. That's what y'all bragging on. I think that's enough said. But you my partner, Ebony. You already know that. You my dog, my homie. Shout out to the Carter family for sure. Kill Tack says, I worry, even with the new playoffs, having to play UGA twice, if we make it to the SEC championship, could make it annoying to make the play. Yeah, that's going to be it. But look, just like they're a thorn in our side, we're a thorn in their side. You better believe that. There's not a Georgia fan out there that's going to tell you, not a realistic one. And the Bama fans the same way. The realistic Bama fans will know Georgia going to be a problem, as they always are, right? And the realistic Georgia fans know Bama has beaten us 6 times out of the last 7 times we played them, right? So the honest fans know that we're a thorn to each other, and we may possibly have to see each other more than one time. Stunatino says, I'm from Huntsville, Cody. Roll Tide to the Hville, man. Hey, Stunner, that's what's up, homie. Love that, man. I'm out here in Madison, bro, right outside. You know what I mean? I played at A&M, you know what I mean? That's my stomping grounds. I still on campus, you know, hollering at my old teachers that's still there. Miss People still there. Miss Wyman still there. So, yeah, man. Roll Tide to the home team right there. Stunatino, what up with you, bro? Thank you, man, for tapping in. Hope you stay tapping in with us, bro. Appreciate you for sure. Larry Lodge, what's up with you, Larry? Roll Tide to you, man. Yeah, man, that's my kind of football, bro. That's my kind of football, brother. Kareem says, Coach, they better go undefeated. Otherwise, the coach of theirs is baked chicken. Man, listen, Ebony, I want you to read Kareem's comment. Ebony, if you still here, please read that comment. Because I really believe if he don't win the championship, Ryan Day might be in some trouble. With everything they spent, with everything they done to make sure this is a successful season, if Ohio State does not win the championship, Ebony, man, I don't know, Ebony. I don't know. It's they may not fire him, but I don't know. You know, it's gonna be a lot of belts to asses over there if he don't win. You know, yeah, we seen that, Freddie. That's good stuff. We talked about that earlier. Yeah, I know, Ebony. You know, I'm just giving you a hard time. You know, I'm just getting on you a little bit. You know how we do. So it's gonna be a good season, guys. It's gonna be a good season, man. Shout out to James Richards. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a good season, man. It's gonna be different. We got Oklahoma here. We got Texas here. They're here now. They are fully SEC squads, and it's time, man. The season will kick off. And man, look, may the best team win, right? May the best team win. It's gonna be crazy, man. Hell, it's like Coach Jay said. It might be best to not go to the SEC championship, right? I mean, you go against somebody like Georgia, you play in the SEC championship game, you get beat up, and then you got to go right to the playoffs the next week. While a team like whoever may get the rest and still go to the playoffs. So it's just gonna be crazy, man. You went to Butler. Yeah, I'm rock with the facts, man. You went to Butler. Let's see who I played. I played with dude named Steve Langford. We used to call him He-Man. That boy strong as I don't know what from Butler. Martell was a freshman when I was a senior. You know, Martell from the Huntsville show. Martell was an incoming freshman when I was a senior. So Martell, who else from Butler? I think that's the only two from Butler. I played with a lot of Johnson dudes. Melvin Gideon, Cedric Collins, Brad Jefferson, a lot of Johnson dudes, man. But I think Steve Langford was the only Butler guy I had. We just called him He-Man. Big, strong rascal. Never lift weights. Was just strong, man. So shout out to Butler, man. Shout out to the old school Butler. Them boys was good in every damn sport. You know what I mean? So yeah, we had a good time, man. So listen, guys, thank you for tapping in tonight, man. You guys are freaking awesome as usual. You know, special shout out to Ebony Carter, Ebony Williams, and the young baller himself, Noah Carter. Can't wait to get Noah on campus, man. Can't wait to get him here and let him go hunt quarterbacks all day, right? You know, Noah Carter, freshman season, 9 sacks. I'm calling it right now. Will Anderson stats. Nicole, thank you, Nicole. You already know. You already know. Much, much, much love to you. Appreciate you, Adam. You already know, broski. Appreciate you, bro. Matt Farms, Roll Tide to you, man. Caitlin, you know what I mean? You know, I don't know. Tina, Tina here. Shout out to Tina, man. My Goski right there. Shout out to Tina, man. Hey, you want to come say bye? You want to come say bye? Your mama in here. Your twin in here. You know what I mean?
That is my
Say Roll Tide to the people.
Okay. Roll Tide, everyone. And I hope you have a good day.
Roll Tide to everybody in here. Love y'all to death. Thank you, Caitlin. I appreciate you. Patriot Life. You already know, man. My broski from another Moski. Thank you, James. Appreciate you, brother. Much love to the University of Georgia. You know what I'm saying? I seen Kirby and Saban out there golfing it up today, man. They still chums. They still boys. Just because we compete against each other don't mean we hate each other. You know what I mean? I think Saban has been on record saying, hell, if we can't win, we win for Georgia. You know what I mean? Much love to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Hacker Music, Roll Tide, man. Freddie Hull, appreciate you, my brother. Roll Tide, man. I see you guys tomorrow. Defend HVille, baby. You already know Hunts Vegas, man. And I'll see you. Thank you, Roll Tide 22. I appreciate y'all, man. And until tomorrow's show, man, Roll Tide to you. And hope all of you have a blessed night, man. Much love.